At dawn, look to the east.
It's time to stop!
Hello, welcome to week 7 of my time here in Vegas. On my first day, I was in day 2 of the, actually I entered day 2 of the one drop, the $1111 entry. I just ran really great. I got dealt aces and hell twice. I won like ace 10 suited against ace jack off all in pre at one point when the guy actually should have folded. He like cold called my 20 big blind jam button versus cut off versus middle position. I know I had like 17 bigs, but you know, I got there. So I made day 2 with like a pretty decent stack. Day 2 was going pretty well. Everyone's kind of shallow. Hijack, fill lock, jams for 12.5 bigs. The small blind re-jams for my 25 bigs effective. And I have ace king in the big blind.
Wait a second. You call? Yeah.
That was how I busted there. From there, I went to go and play the 1500 mix PLO NLH. I managed to get it in better than you should be allowed to get it in 4-card PLO on the flop, because I squeezed with aces, jack 6 with nut clubs. I get 2 calls, it comes 5-3-3 or 5-5-3 rainbow with 1 club. I decide to check because the SPR is like 1.5 and I'm out of position to both. The guy lash to act pots it, which is great because I don't know, you just probably shouldn't be potting it when he's got trips or a full house, and based on how deep everyone was. So I get in my chips, he cycles it off and he's got kings 10-7 with backdoor clubs as well. So he only wins if it comes 10-10, 7-7, or he hits his king. He has 2 outs, and then he managed to hit both of them, of course. And I re-entered, and I think I played one hand kind of badly. I made a bad hero call. It was only for like a small pot, but I don't know, I noticed like my head wasn't in the right place necessarily for that one hand, where I think I should have made a discipline fold, and then made a back call for a few bigs, and then again lost the flip. But that meant I had a chance to go and raise the Venetian, the 2.5k, and I just about made it on time. I got in after the break, got in with my 16 bigs, and I found a pair of jacks, and someone else found a pair of kings. So pretty brutal second day there. And then on my third day, I was playing the 888. I was doing pretty well, although it's a super fast structure. I got into the money. We played down to like 5% of the field or something, and then the button opens. I'm in the small blind with like 21 big blinds and king 8 suited, and we're playing like 6-handed, so the ante's massive. I took the exploit all in. I think normally it's probably a call, maybe sometimes even a fold, but I think all in there is good because he's gonna overfold. Like I don't think people even call king queen in the spot sometimes for 21 big blinds, but he's definitely folding way too many hands. The big blind wakes up with ace king, and then the button wakes up with ace queen suited, and gets to call off both of us.
What do I need, hearts or an 8?
Just to go to like 2.
Hearts or an 8? I can't have hearts, just an 8. Just an 8. Close, close, close.
Let's go.
Close. Okay, keep going.
Just finished day 4 of week 7, and I think I made my biggest mistake today of the trip. Playing the crazy 8s again. Yesterday I got kind of close to day 2 and cashed for like 2.5 buy-ins. Today was going really well. I had like 600k when the average was like 200k. Although it's a really fast structure, I only had like 75 bigs still. The guy on my right, we've had loads of hands together. I free bet him loads, I've been raising him loads, I've been playing super aggressive against him and just kind of getting the better of him. I don't necessarily know if he's like good or bad yet from what I've seen. There's a few hands he's played a bit weird, and his sizing seems to be too big in places, so I think he's not a reg, but like I don't know. And then we're getting really close to the money, like 350 left, 337 paid. He raises in the hijack. I decide to flat in the cutoff with 7-8 of clubs. Probably normally supposed to fold, but because we were like just over 40 bigs effective and I cover him and I cover everyone after, I thought I can get away with a call here. Like I wouldn't mind free bet, I wouldn't mind fold. I just decided to call, I think it's fine. Everyone else folds, so the pot's 56k, 8k big blind. It comes 10 of spades, 6 of clubs, 2 of spades. So I've got a gut shot to the nuts, backdoor flush draw. He bets 35k, really big, which is actually okay on this board. So I just call. Pretty standard decision so far. It makes the pot 126k and it leaves him 308k. The turn pairs my 7, so now I've got a pair and a gut shot to the 9, and he barrels for 80k, and he's playing 308k. And it's normally a complete, I mean, I say normally, it's just an easy call. Like, he's pretty polar with his bet sizes. I'm way ahead of his bluffs. I've got more outs because I can hit my straight, I can hit 2-pair, I can hit strips, and like if he checks the river, I've just got an easy value. I don't know why, for some reason, I just decided that I thought, because we're really close to the money, that if I went all in, he would fold a 10 and he would fold an overpair. And I don't know, I think it's just bad. I can't justify it. Nothing, I mean, I can tell you in game that's what I was thinking and that's why I went all in, but it's just bad. Like, my hand is just an easy call. Like, I probably shouldn't really ever jam here, and maybe there's a few hands that might want to do it. Like, I could just do it with value even, because people just aren't good enough at folding. I mean, given that I'm jamming this, I mean, you could probably argue it's a big circle, maybe it's not supposed to fold or whatever, but like, people just don't like folding. People don't like folding ace 10, jacks, queens, kings, aces, whatever he's got, like 10, 9, I don't know. People don't like folding. He tanks for ages and calls, so even then when he tank called, I thought he's got like ace 10 or a pair of jacks or something, and I've fucked up here because he's not folded his top pair. But he had pocket 8s with the 8 of spades. He literally has like a hand that should never have took the line he took, and then has the easiest fold possible versus my line, and has the most equity against my hand. So it was like the biggest disaster that could have happened imaginable. He had the 8 of spades in his hand as well. Like, I don't know, like, I just felt so horrible to see that hand, because it just confirms that I've completely torched it. Like, he's called me with the worst hand imaginable to call with, and he has like the next best hand after my hand, and he blocks bluffs, and like everything about his hand, I've just completely blew it. The guy is playing pocket 8s like this, and I've rewarded him for it just to make it even worse. Like, I've rewarded his really bad play by giving him like infinite chips in this tournament. I don't know, I was pretty mad with myself, because it's just unnecessary, especially in like this tournament. It's a really good tournament. I just don't need to over bluff, let alone like this crazy out of line bluff. There's no justifying it, it was just bad. And then I had a pretty sick hand where Jao Simao, Brazilian party poker reg, raises under the gun to 13k. I cover him, we're getting close to the money. I free bet middle position with ace queen. The big blind goes all in for 79k, no 78k, so I've still got my action open. Folds to him, and he does a lot of theatrics where he's like, how much is the all in? Oh, you've made it 29 more, and he's all in for, and he was trying to count it in his head. And then it looked to me like he came to the conclusion that I couldn't re-raise, so he could call, and then he called. But I don't know, I was just super suspicious of his whole like mannerisms in the hand. He seemed like kind of confident, and I just had like, my radar was just going off that he was like just up to something in this spot and wanted me to put him all in, and like think that he made the mistake of thinking that I can't reopen the action when I can. So I call. Flop is queen 10-7 with 2 clubs and a heart. I've got club heart. He checks, I check back. The turns are 9 and he bets like half pot, like 102k, and I just fold my ace queen, top pair, top kicker, and he's got kings. So that felt pretty good. I think I had a really good read on the situation pre-flop there, where I think he just was super nutted based on his mannerisms, so I was pretty happy with that one. I then scraped into a min cash and lost jam ace 5 suited and lose against jacks. So technically a profitable day, but doesn't feel so great. Day 5, I played the 1500 freeze out. I had one hand where I raised with queens, 3x to 600 in middle position. An old guy in the big blind makes it 2k. So already alarm bells going off. Old guy free bets big blind when they sometimes flat ace king and jacks in this spot. Call with queens. It comes jack, jack, 10, 2 diamonds. I don't have the queen of diamonds, he checks. I just bet a third pot. I just thought I want to keep in his ace king if it is there, and I don't feel super confident on this board. He still might check aces and kings on this board, so obviously he might have like quad jacks or 10s sometimes. Like it doesn't feel like I'm in the greatest spot. But obviously ace king and ace queen are plausible. Maybe pocket 9s is plausible, probably not. He calls, the turn is a brick, he checks. I bet a third again because I just thought ace king has to call for that price, I think. And then I save myself calling like a river bet when I check back if I think his range is pretty strong. He calls again. The river is an 8. Check, and he has kings. So I think I was pretty in touch with the game in that hand to not lose more queens, not go for a river value bet, and not 4-bet pre. I then got a pretty brutal hand where folds the small blind, he 2.5x's it to 1k at 400 big blind. I defend with pocket frees, free of spades. It comes ace king free with ace king of spades and free of something else. He bets 1,000. I call, so the pot's 4.4. Turn is a 7, he checks. I bet 4,000, I just bet really big because I thought if he's checked an ace, he's not folding, and I'll just go for max with this hand against the hand, his check range that's strong. And now he raises to 12k with like 13.8k behind, which looks obviously crazy strong. I don't think I can fold my set. Like, I don't think this guy was bluffing. I don't think he had a bluff range for this size in this spot based on what I've seen about him, but maybe it's ace 7 or ace king sometimes, like who knows. I was pretty worried, but given the stack depth, I don't think I get to think about ever folding this hand. I call, the rivers, whatever, he jams, I call, and he has aces. As expected, when they check raise to half of their stack, when, I don't know, man, it just felt like he always had it, but maybe it's ace king as well, so I can't fold. And then I open with kings, king of diamonds, king of hearts, the 1.3k at 600 big, get called by middle position, the button, and the big blind, to the pot 6k. Here comes queen of clubs, 10 of clubs, 9 of diamonds. I decide to bet 1,800. Can check this spot as well, but I feel like it's a fine hand to bet, especially when the way people are playing. It feels pretty criminal to get it checked through, and I can take the heat of a raise. Like aces, I'll probably just pure check. Probably pure check a lot of hands, but I felt like kings I could get away with a bet. So I bet 1,800. The guy in middle position, who seems just like a recreational player, then verbally says 6,000. Last time he verbalized his bet this confidently, he had a set. I've been watching all hands. Falls back to me, side call with kings, not very happy. And then the turn's the 10 of diamonds, so it's queen, 10 of clubs, 10, 9 of diamonds. I check, I've got 33k. I'm already thinking, like, if he bets small, I'm not very happy, but maybe I have to call one. Maybe sometimes he's got ace queen in his range, or I don't know. Like, I think he's not bluffing, but there are like a lot of super draws he's confident with there too, like ace jack of clubs, ace 8 of clubs, not like 9 8 of clubs and 7 8 of clubs, like loads of hands that he's just happy to go with it as well that would feel very confident. So I check the turn, and then he bets 17,500 into 18k when I've only got 33k. So it's pretty brutal. Like I decided I would just always fold aces because then I block ace queen, which I want him to have, and I'm like more dead against the times I'm behind. But with kings, I block king jack suited as well, which is one of the main hands they think he might take this line for value, but I just can't see him potting it with a boat. I can't see it, I couldn't see it. I thought maybe it's still like some queen jack, king queen, ace queen, jack sometimes. Like maybe that's just wishful thinking, or like a bet commit with a super draw. So I just decided to run it. I wasn't very happy, and he had the king jack suited. Of course, because everyone always has it. But I mean, I know I would have folded aces and ace queen there, but kings, I thought I just have to get it in. And then I go play the 1600 mystery bounty at the win. Really fun tournament. I was playing against the crazy guy where I raise in the cutoff with ace 8 suited. He jams 25 bigs in the small blind, folds back to me. Normally I fold against most people, but I've seen this guy just doing crazy stuff, so I'm like, whatever. Guess I have to call now. I can still re-enter. It makes enough chips, and I lose against king jack suited. So I re-enter and then get semi-deep. We're playing to the money. And then I get a pretty annoying hand where hijack raises to 10k, 2.5x. I call in the cutoff with pocket nines. The big blind, who's been really tight, and like, it looks like it could be a reg, but I've seen him raise the cutoff with ace queen and then can't call a 17 big blind jam from the small blind with ace queen. So I know he's just scared to put chips in. Like he's playing too tight, no matter what it is. He's playing 109k, so he's playing like 20, 28, 27 to 28 big blinds here. Is that right? 4k, yeah, like 27 bigs. He makes it 33k, leaving himself with 76k. So he might as well at this point have turned his hand face up and told everyone he's got aces because he made a tiny free bet from the big blind, giving us a great price. Like, no one does this with ace king. Maybe he has king sometimes, but like, no, he's just not going to be the guy that finds a bluff. And if he's not finding a bluff, the value is just aces, maybe kings. So first guy calls. I'm now hating life, but I just have to take my price, 22k to 100k, and I'm just always getting a lot if I flop a set against him because I know he's got aces. It comes jack 10, 8. He goes all in, and I have to run it now with my pocket nines. The other guy folds because I know I've got 10 hats twice against his aces, and I did not get there against his aces. So him playing with his cards on his face, turned the other way, worked out well for him, which was kind of tilting. Like, I'm happy to lose that spot, but the fact that he just made it so, like, if he just I don't know, like maybe they can only play the hand that way anyway, because like the first guy is probably bad and didn't realize he always has aces, and then he probably wins more against him. But then from there, I did get him back. I flopped a straight against his 2-pair and held, and I managed to back 214k, which is pretty nice. And it also meant I could play the 1500 at the Rio, because that was a 2-day tournament, which only collided with like 1B and 1C. So I could play a tournament while I was in day 2 of the win without having to worry about it, another World Series event. So that was great. And then at this point, now this is really sick. I find out, well, I say find out, I've been following along, but I find out that my 2% swap in the main with Mr. Jack Oliver, he's now in the last 10 of the main event, and I have 2%. Which is like, I swear to actually get me out of it for a 2% swap. So I go to rail. But the next day I played the $1,500 50 stack and just did no good. I just lost a flip after late race closed, and then got to go and rail Jack in the main event. And it sounds stupid, but it's so nice having someone that you really want to root for. Like, there's a lot of poker players that I feel are very like I don't know, entitled or egotistical or just like kind of dicks. But Jack is a super nice guy. He's a very hard worker, and you can't help but just root for him. He's really genuine. The rail was insane. There was guys that flew out to come and watch as well. I'm sure like he's made a lot of people happy that bought action of him as well. He's like changed people's lives, including his own. And just getting to watch this. Seeing like the raw emotion that comes from these situations, like making the final of the main, and I don't know, just the excitement of being there, let alone like the pay jumps and winning big pots and having the sweat to become the world champion. Seeing him go through that experience is, it was just a really nice refresher of why I'm here, like why this game is actually great, as much as it is the worst sometimes. Like it's worthwhile, like it is worthwhile. It's like nothing else, but it's just a great game. It's a great game. And like watching that Jack 9 suited hand in real life was just so pure. Seeing someone give such a genuine burst of emotion, of happiness when that river card hit was legendary. That's like a moment immortalized in World Series history. I got to be there for and see a good friend getting to enjoy. It's beautiful. Yeah, day 7, I just came to rail. There was 3 people left, and unfortunately, Jack came in 3rd place, although $3 million, like, there's no unfortunate there, right? So absurd. So now my biggest cash in Vegas is a 2% swap, which is absolutely ridiculous. I should stay home and buy action. that might be less pain, although I just get a serious fear of missing out. But George Holmes was just playing insane. It was great to watch. He did some crazy stuff, and I think Jack played great throughout, and you know, you've got to obviously run pretty well to get that far, no matter who you are. Corey was like a very well-deserving winner, absolute crusher, seemed to just not put a foot wrong. The whole final table ran well as well, and that's all it takes. Like, you play good, you run good, you win the world championship for $8 million. It's just so absurd. Such a sick game. Week 7, I played 10 tournaments. I lost $7,742, although I have day 2 of the mystery bounty, which is a nice sweat. There's some 100k bounties in there. Although I've probably got like less than 30 bigs. It's just nice to be there. Which brings my total to, I've now played 87 tournaments, and I'm down $90,439. You know what, I'm gonna throw in the World Series Online tournaments as well. Let's try and get this to as brutal as a number as possible, right? So that brings, including the 4 online tournaments, that now means I've played 91 tournaments, and I'm down $95,593. Not quite 100k yet, but it's getting there. Next week, there is the 1500 closer, which is a super turbo. There's a 1k turbo, and there's the bounty day 2, of course, which is exciting, and there is the 5k turbo, and then that's it. I think there's like a 1k online as well, but then that really is it. It's nearly over. I'm nearly done with this sick place. Crazy to think a swap has got me like a good portion of out of it as well. That's just absolutely absurd. It's sick game. Deficit's still there. I still got a little bit of time. One more week to make up for it. Am I gonna get out of it? Who knows? But you know, I'm in better spirits. I feel a lot better in myself. I'm kind of excited to get back to online and in like a better study schedule, playing loads of online poker. I'll start coaching again as well. I'm pretty privileged and and happy to see how many people have messaged me asking me for coaching while I've been doing these videos, considering how badly my results have been. But it's nice to see the faith is still there. So if you are interested in coaching, just reach out to me on Twitter, Instagram, wherever, and I'm going to get into like a good routine for it. I hope I can help a lot more people have a lot more success in this game. It's a beautiful game sometimes. It can be brutal, but I think it's character building as well. Like it's fun, it's worthwhile, no matter how painful it is. Well, for me, it's worthwhile. Maybe it's not for everyone, but I think you know if it's for you, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, you just got to keep grinding. There's one more week before I get to see the totals, and who knows, maybe I'll just win the last tournament. That'd be pretty sick, right? Alright, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all the crazy stuff, and stay tuned for the week 8, the final week of Vegas. Let me know what you think the total's going to be. Why not? It probably can't get that much worse, right?